Hello. Let's play a little game. I'll give you clues and then ask you a question. Clue number 1. My face is breaking out. I couldn't fit into my jeans this morning. My dog was making annoying sounds when I tried to sell her. And no one wanted her. I wonder why. What time of the month is it? Or time of the every 2.5 months? Last video I talked about where I live. It's here. Today I want to talk about what I do for a living here in 2020 because it be changing every day, and I know this time next year I'm going to be doing something completely different. But first, welcome Kim. Hello. How are you? Oregon, I hope your new meds are what you've been needing and everything's going to be fine and dandy forever and nothing will ever hurt again. Matt and Momo, you're so cute. I'm going to vomit. And Ro, I think I'm in love with you, but it's low-key, so don't worry about it. And these are all of our members. We're settled now. Me and Matt are going to be on Mondays. Morgan has every other Wednesday, and Kim and Ro share Fridays. So this week I'm going to tell you about what I do for work. I'm 100% self-employed. When people ask, I say that I'm a writer, but there's a bit more. Before I get into the different things I do, I'm going to tell you how I became self-employed in the first place. So a year and a little bit ago, I was moving out of state to have a job in sales. I studied marketing and sales in college. I had a whole resume for it. I had a job offer. It was all good to go. A little bit before I was set to leave, I had become somewhat disenchanted with the idea of a career in sales because it was a career in sales. But I can pinpoint the day that I realized how unfit sales was for my personality and lifestyle. It was during my last sales competition in college. Quick explanation of that. I led the competitive sales team for my university. So school sent a couple hundred of their best sales students to compete in various events where they'd participate in essentially selling things to clients. So it was like these staged sales calls where you had a profile for a fake company, you had a real product that you were selling to this fake customer. The person playing the customer was usually a recruiter. There's this whole list of criteria of different things that you'd get judged on, but there was a camera streaming the role play to a room full of judges. And the role plays were timed between 10 and 20 minutes depending on what round you were in. So all the competitions that I had done were out of state until the last one. So that was the only one I'd done in this area down south with them southern boys. They're sexist, spoiler alert. So every round in that competition with different men playing each customer, they told me that my math was wrong because I did it in my head and I did it too quickly. So I had 15 minutes to do this sales pitch and reach an agreement, and every single man playing a customer broke character to tell me that my math was wrong, and I had to take a minimum 2 minutes out of my roleplay time to hold their hand and walk them through multiplication. I realized that had I had a knife, I would have stabbed at least one of them, and that's not great for sales. But I had a job lined up, it was stupid money, I was good at it, other than the potential homicide, I suppose. Get in, make money, get out, do something cooler. That was the plan. Then the week before I was set to move, a family member got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and the prognosis was incredibly bleak. So I decided to stay here, I rented this apartment, and I settled in for a bit. While I was here, having a job seemed like a waste of time because I'd either work in the service industry or in the oil field. Neither of those are really going to push me toward any kind of goal that I had. I always liked writing. I studied writing in college alongside business just for fun. I had a few publications under my belt already. I had a concept for a novel, all just for fun because I enjoyed it. So I spent my free time writing, and then I decided to come back to YouTube because I still had a couple thousand subscribers and a few of them were still around. But my videos before were really no direction. We were teenagers. So I thought for a bit about what kind of expertise I had that I could make videos about. Writing, hello. So I was writing and doing YouTube, and I went back to doing some professional development stuff, freelance. I was teaching English as a second language and these random things online so that I was breaking even while I lived here and not eating up my savings. Then I published Little Birds, and I realized that this was potentially lucrative and something I preferred well over sales because sales sucks, guys. Being creative, being my own boss, being able to travel wherever I wanted whenever, that's the stuff. I knew it would be a long period of time before I got solid income-wise, but I was enjoying what I was doing, and I was affording a lifestyle that I was perfectly comfortable with, so I was yeah, dude, this is fine. And I always thought once I moved, I'd get a proper job, but I don't know if I can go back to that. So what I do for a job can basically be broken down into content creation and freelance services. So I make YouTube videos, obviously. Once a week, every Thursday, I upload videos about writing, editing, publishing. I have a series where I watch the worst movies that I can find and complain about them, and random lifestyle stuff. And I think everybody knows how getting paid on YouTube works, ad revenues and sponsorships. But mostly YouTube is a part of my job because it gives me a platform and an audience to give my other things to, like writing. I make royalties off of my book, soon to be books, and a future goal is for most of my income to be coming from my publication. Skillshare is an online learning platform, and they're honestly so great to their creators. My subscribers have been amazing at trying out my class and leaving reviews, so the class I have up is performing really well. So I'm getting monthly payments for minutes of the class that are viewed, and then $10 a person who signs up through my 2-month free trial link. So it's great, and I'm really excited to post more content there. For freelance services, I do a lot of stuff. As I make more money on my content creation, I'm going to offer fewer services, but right now I do freelance writing things like articles and cover letters. I write like 5 to 7 articles a month, which is something like 25% of my income. I do manuscript critiques where I read people's novel drafts and give them feedback. I do anywhere from 2 to 12 of those a month. Freelance is super random, and that's why it's really important to diversify your income when you're self-employed. Writing workshops are kind of similar to critiques, but they're much more involved. They're less about refining a manuscript and more about refining a writer's skill set. I prefer workshops to critiques because I can see writers improving. I think it's a much more valuable use of their time and money. I do professional development. I've done that for a while. Creating resumes, writing cover letters, interview prep, developing personal brands and marketing strategies, website design and building portfolios. I've done it all. The thing that I do most often now is building resumes. I love making resumes. Figuring out how to fit someone's skills and experience to a job description and then present it in a compelling way is really fun for me. It's like a little puzzle, especially when they get hired afterward, which most of my clients have. Even though my platform has kind of skewed specifically toward creative writing, as long as I have freelance services available, I'm probably going to have some kind of professional development thing there as well. The last thing is life coaching, which is relatively new. I only have a handful of clients, and they come from my Patreon. So it's basically a secret tier that I let my current patrons upgrade to. It's at a super discounted rate right now because it's kind of in beta stages. I'm developing a lot of materials for it and kind of like the structure. So that's not pulling a ton of money for me yet, but it's something I've always been into, and I'm excited to monetize it because I've been doing it for free for years. So that's pretty much what I do for money. I have my Patreon, which I've mentioned like 6 times. That's about 35% of my income right now. But the benefits for pledging are things like extra videos and critiques and like access to my Discord channel. So the work I do toward Patreon kind of fits in with the other stuff already. I have 5 big projects that I'm working on right now. One is my next Skillshare class, which is going to be how to create and publish a collection. I'm getting ready to publish my next collection. That should be up for pre-sale in a few months. I'm producing an audiobook for little birds, which should also be available in the next few months. I'm putting together an anthology with some other writers, and that's going to be super cool and fun. And I'm writing my novel. The way that I see my job changing this year is just me making more money doing the things that I prefer and then doing less of the things that I don't like as much. Like, I had gotten 2 part-time jobs whenever I decided I was staying here, and as my online business grew, I was able to quit the shittier one like a few months in. It didn't take long, and then a couple months after that I quit the other one. So yeah, I'm having a great time. I'm super grateful to everyone who watches my stuff and reads my stuff and reviews my stuff. Making things is fun. So yeah, that's how the sausage is made and the Hannah is paid. I should be a writer.
You know, we haven't had any issues with it, with me doing it before.
But you're essentially spending 10 work weeks a year on payroll and HR.
Yeah, I've never tallied it up, but
if you're not, it is $2,000 per employee, and you have 26 employees, correct?
we do 26.
That's $52,000 a year.
Yep.
If you're not, your annual cost would be $3,585. But with that $200,000 you're making just in saved time.
Our annual cost would be $3,500. So it's not per payroll?
It is per payroll. Per payroll, each
But I do
payroll
payroll
is
weekly.
$68.95. Yes, and that is your annual cost.
$3,500 a year?
Yes.
Okay.